Live a little every day. एक ही जिंदगी मिली है. These were the words written by a diseased student from a prestigious institute of India who committed suicide on July 2 last year. Every hour, one student commits suicide in India. Sushant Singh Rajput's suicide affected everyone who trailed their dreams. He made me believe if a small town boy could explore and win over a world so untouched, then why we can't do things? His simplicity easily obsessed you, especially his conviction to drop a top engineering degree to follow his dreams, which is a bold inspiration. This is not about him, but about this tragedy which highlights the issue of mental illness. Research says 1 out of 7 people are suffering from some or the other kinds of mental illnesses. Okay. Stress, anxiety, depression are common examples of mental disorders. I am here to highlight some issues related to mental health, which is very important these days. Mental health is a state of well-being in which an individual realizes his or her own abilities and can cope with normal stresses of life, can work productively, and his response to stimuli is normal. I am not a psychiatrist or a counselor, but an educator who got perturbed to find out the statistics that is close to 8 lakh people die due to suicide every year, which is one person every 40 seconds. Suicide is a global phenomenon, but the measures taken for it is disturbing. While most of us would be more than eager to pop up pills for a headache or maybe to say goodbye to fever, but the serious concerns like anxiety, stress and depression are exasperatingly brushed off. If going to a physician can be normal, then why going to a psychiatrist considered to be abnormal? The mind too could have a fracture to heal up from. What causes depression? Let's see the causes which cause this deadly mental disorder. First is some events of life, like death of a near one, death of a pet maybe, or a friend, someone really close, or maybe when your parents get divorced, separated. These trigger depression. Second is family and social environment. Some stressful situations like unhappy family life can lead to depression. Poverty, homelessness, violence in the household can lead to the same. There are people who deal with bullying or maybe harassment or peer pressure. All these things weigh heavily on a person's conscience, and hence it leads to family and social environment which causes depression. Lack of contentment. Today, everybody wants to achieve everything in a short span of time. A person getting 10,000 rupees aspires to buy an Audi car. Obviously, he will be dissatisfied, which would lead to depression. The next one is disconnection, which leads to depression. I have 2,000 FB friends, but not even 2 to lend an ear when I personally need them. Talking to a close friend, trusted family member, or maybe penning down your feelings really helps. The next one is the uncertainty about the future. Many people lost their jobs due to lockdown. The ambiguity about tomorrow. Kal kya hoga? This also leads to depression. Action speaks louder than words. Some people seek our help, but we are unable to identify it. Let's find out the symptoms of depression. People are irritated, angry all the time, agitated. They might have headaches or stomach aches, some or the other physical ailment or problem. They're always tired, they're always worn out. If you ask them to carry a book to you, they'll be tired because they're mentally fatigued. And they keep talking about memory issues, they don't remember things. What are the types of anxiety disorders? What causes anxiety in a person? Number 1, specific phobias. A person feels very fearful about a particular object or a situation and may go to great lengths to avoid it. For example, a person who feels claustrophobic in a flight, he doesn't want to travel by air. The sight of water or maybe fire leads to some kind of trauma and you avoid it. Second is generalized anxiety disorder. That is when you worry uncontrollably about common occurrences and think about it. A person who has this generalized anxiety disorder may worry uncontrollably even if there is no reason to worry. Next we have this post-traumatic stress disorder. That is after an earthquake or an epidemic, when you lose somebody near, the repercussions could be felt after many years. That gives you trauma, maybe the vibrations or maybe the sight or any other situation also reminds you of the same thing. Next, obsessive compulsive disorder, generally known as OCD. It is common and people know about it. That is when you're washing hands, even if you know that your hands are clean, but you keep doing. This is the most important segment of my session, that is how to cope with depression. Reach out to other people. Isolation fuels depression. So reach out to friends and family even if you don't feel like doing so in the beginning. Don't stay alone. At times you just need a good listener. Get moving. That is, regular exercise can be as effective as an antidepressant medication to cope with it. Take a short walk or maybe put some music and dance to its tunes. Start with small activities and build up from there. Third is eat a mood enhancing diet. That is, reduce your intake of food that can adversely affect your mood like alcohol and caffeine. Start taking omega-3 fatty acids. It helps. Find ways to engage yourself with nature. That is, spend more time with nature. Get yourself busy with hobbies that give you pleasure. Maybe initially it will not be as effective as it was, but gradually as you sink into it, you will feel relaxed and again you will start enjoying these activities. Most importantly, consult a medical professional. Many people who have a mental illness do not want to talk about it. But mental illness is nothing other than a disease. It is a medical condition, just like a heart disease or diabetes. In our society, it is a stigma, and mental health conditions are categorically treatable. There's another theory given by Frank Dressman in 1965 which says, the moment you provide assistance to people, you in return are benefited. That is, leverage your life for helping people, in return you comfort yourself. Why do you think it is important to go to a psychologist or a psychiatrist? Because it is said the cause of your depression may lead to the course of treatment. Understanding the underlying cause of your depression may help you to overcome the problem. For example, if you are depressed about a dead-end job, then the best treatment will be to find a satisfying job other than grabbing those antidepressant pills. The remedy lies in raising awareness about mental health, and we really need to talk about it. As per a famous psychologist, if someone says, I don't want to live anymore, ask them straight, do you plan to commit suicide? At times, asking such straight probing questions might arouse insights which might save a life. This lockdown, owing to isolation, job uncertainty, underlying stress and monotony, and moreover, the fear of the virus has taken a significant toll on the mental health of the people of the Generation X and the millennials. I am not a psychologist, but I just want to help that friend of mine who might be slipping into silence. So stay in touch. Spend time with your loved ones. Keep talking to each other. If you observe any unusual pattern, reach out to help. Reassure people that this too shall pass. Because I firmly believe that never let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. Because nothing can be as beautiful as life itself. And yes, stand by people who need you. instead of lamenting and tweeting later. Do give me your honest feedback. I will be more than happy to hear you. Thank you.